introduce our guest speaker and featured speaker for tonight. And Dr. Amzallag received his degree in anesthesiology and intensive care, as well as a degree in Chinese medicine from the University of Montpellier in France. He has decades of experience in the medical industry in addition to a 14-year background in the field of network marketing. He previously operated a successful private practice in the south of France. Additionally, Dr. Amzallag has experience with recruiting, sales, marketing, manufacturing, formulation design, legal and product notifications, and customer service. Dr. Amzallag brings many talents to the Jeunesse team. He serves as medical spokesperson and advisor of the European Union. He has a vast scientific and business background in all areas of nutrition and skincare, including but not limited to research and development. He's also fluent in French, English, and Spanish, and he's very driven by innovative concepts related to holistic and Western medicine, food supplements, weight management, and cosmetics. He's served in the past as vice president and general manager of Europe for very well-known network marketing companies. And so without further ado, I do want to say thank you so much, Dr. A, as we kindly call you. We are so honored to have an opportunity to host you tonight on our education session, and we're excited to hear all that you are going to be sharing with us tonight. The stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly fine.
And you can see the full screen?
Yes, and we can see it.
Okay, so my name is William Amzallag, and I'm calling you surprisingly from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, where we finished 2 days ago a fantastic event with more than 15,000 people. These Brazilians are crazy because they work until 3 o'clock in the morning every day. So we were exhausted when we finished that. So that's a fantastic start in Brazil. Now, I'm very honored to talk to you about my book called The Promise of Immortality. But more than that, I'm going to talk about the anti-aging revolution. Now, you know, all my life I have dreams, and I understand that many times we talk about dreams, but I have so many dreams, and guess what? I find out something special. We will never die from an overdose of dreams. And that's what I did all my life. And one of my dreams was to live as long as Methuselah. And you know, Methuselah lived, well, based on the Bible, he lived 999 years. By the way, Jeunesse has been started on 90909. So you see this number 9 is not so, it's not a coincidence. Let's put that. So we are going to talk about longevity. First, now, do you know the world record of longevity? The world record of longevity is held by a French woman. Her name is Jeanne Calment. And she lived 122 years, 5 months, and 14 days. And until now, nobody can break this record of longevity. Now, there is something special with this woman. She is what I will call an ordinary woman, which means that she did nothing special to live so long. In fact, she did even against life because she was smoking until the age of 110. So I say to myself, look, if this woman live until the age of 122 and being not a superwoman, I think I can do the same. Why not? Why not you? Why not me? Why not us? And this become my creed. You know, any death occurring before the age of 122 years should be considered as a premature death. Of course, we're not counting wars, crime, violence, and car accidents. So that's become my creed, and I think we can start, at least make a start by 122. But we can also talk about immortality. Is immortality around the corner? Well, it could be. It could be. And you know, 100 years ago, if scientists started to talk about immortality, it will be immediately burned. Today, many scientists talk about immortality, and this is not anymore a taboo. So, and anyway, there is many species which are almost immortal. If you take George the lobsters, who live 140 years, in fact, why he's living so long, and he can live much, much more longer, because his telomeres are always full length. And if he die, he doesn't die because his cells die, he died because the infection of the shell. You have the koi fish from Japan. They can live a long, long time, 226 years, because of their telomeres and their stem cells. The turtle, and this one is one of the most ancient turtle, lived 250 years. And many, many others. You know, the jellyfish can theoretically be immortal. So why not us? Why we have an exception? Why we are, quote, limited by the time? Well, let's see why we are aging first. Until now, or until recently, we thought that aging was the result of accumulating years. You know, you are at the age of 60, you are retired. At the age of 70, you are considered as an old person. And at the age of 80, there is not any more classification for you. And that was what happening until recently. But we find out very recently that aging is not in your chronological age. Aging is inside our cells, inside our nucleus, inside our DNA. So inside our DNA, we have three major causes of aging. The first one is DNA damage, which means physically damaged DNA. Now, our DNA is physically damaged almost 500,000 times a day. Now, this is enormous, and we're still alive because we have a fantastic maintenance service. But there is many, many causes of DNA damage. Every day there is oxidation, which is a major cause of free radical, which will damage our DNA. Then we have inflammation. Inflammation is one of the major causes of DNA damage. Then glycation. Glycation is when you have too much sugar. Or you take too much sugar, they will glue your protein and make your DNA broken. So the second reason to age is our telomere. I'm sure you have heard about the telomeres. Telomeres are this yellow cap that you can see, which are protecting the chromosome and the DNA to be mutated or to be broken, or many, many other things. Now, this cap has some issue, you know, that at every division, this cap will shorten every division, the cap. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they are genetically the same sequences. But when there is no more telomere, when there is no more cap, then the cells have no other choice than to suicide. And that's how we are losing cells, because after 50 to 70 division, the cell suicide and become not anymore available in our stock of healthy cells. And the third reason why we are aging is that our stem cell pool is shrinking. We need it's absolutely vital for us to have a good quantity of stem cells, a little everywhere in our body, because we need those stem cells to replace cells which do not divide too much, like the brain, like the heart, like the muscles. These stem cells, which are magic cells, which will immediately come and become the cells that we wish to have. And this is very important. Unfortunately, those stem cells have telomere, they have DNA, they can age, or they can die, or they can suicide. You see, and this is very important to keep our pool of stem cells in good shape. So what can we do, and what is today this what we call the anti-aging revolution? Well, as we learn, there is 3 targets that we can reach: DNA damage, telomere shortening, and the stem cell pool shrinking. These 3 targets are the target of most of the scientists today, which try to increase our lifestyle, our lifespan, by treating 1, 2, or 3 of this issue. The first one is DNA damage. You know, as I told you, we have 500,000 damage every day, and we are still alive because we have a fantastic maintenance service. Now, the problem with this maintenance service is after the age of 35, 40, is not as fast as it was before. And then some DNA remain broken while the cells divide. And when the cells divide with a broken DNA, some protein cannot be manufactured. And if some protein cannot be done, we can have serious health problems. This is why all the scientists, Jonas included, want to work on DNA repair, how we can help our maintenance service to work faster. Well, the most important progress now, scientific progress, have been on active nutritional supplementation, which are acting and targeting the DNA to repair DNA. And then we talk about antioxidant, and you know that we have many antioxidants in our formula. We talk about anti-inflammatory ingredient. We talk about anti-glycation formula. And we can combine, of course, all this formulation. We talk about what we call promethylation formula, which is a way to activate or deactivate certain genes. We talk about a complex of vitamins and minerals which act on helping the DNA to be repaired. So this is very important. And you know, what is the most important is that all these products will work on our genes. You know that we have in every DNA, we have approximately 30,000 genes. But surprisingly, only 5% of these genes work on a full-time basis. 95% of the genes are sleeping or in a sleeping state. And we need to activate some genes or to deactivate others in order to get a healthy balance, what we call homeostasis. And this is a new revolution called epigenetics, means above genetics. Until today, we thought that genes was everything in our destiny. That's not anymore true. You see, our genes are taking our destiny by 30%, probably, like the color of our eyes, the color of our skin, or some basic definition of every one of us. And then 70% of our destiny is the environment, which will activate or deactivate good or bad genes. And this is very important. It's a good and bad news, because we can control our destiny by 70% at least. we can say, okay, I can go and shut off certain genes if I wish to. And this is what we call a nutrigenomics. So does nutrition can influence gene expression, which means activation or desactivation, and then influence longevity? The answer is absolutely yes. And from that, a new science has come recently, which is based on a very important discovery. Nutrition has an influence on the quantity of protein produced by a gene. And this is very important because we are made of genes. We are made of proteins. All our body, all our function are from protein, and these 200,000 different protein needs secret codes which are given by the genes. So if we know how to switch on and switch off genes, we can activate or deactivate certain function which can be good. Nutrigenomics is a new revolution in genetics. The second point is how to help to reduce telomere shortening. I have to tell you this story of the telomerase story, which is a little different from the telomere story, which is held by Elizabeth Blackburn, which is Nobel Prize from 2009. What she find? She find that in spermatozoid and the ovula, the sexual or the germinal cells, the telomere one never shortened. They never shortened. Then she asked why. Why in these two cells the telomere never shortened? First is normal, because if you have short telomeres from the spermatozoid, very short, the baby will have short telomeres and will not survive during 9 months. So it was, nature has anticipated and put full telomeres there. Why? Why? Because we have inside those cells an enzyme called telomerase. And this enzyme is activated by a gene, which is called TART, the telomerase gene. When it's activated, it will activate this telomerase enzyme, which will start to work. And guess what? When these telomeres start to work, well, it will repair break by break the telomere, which is shortening at every division. So the telomere will shorten a little moment and will be immediately repaired. And this is a new revolution in anti-aging, because if we find that, this is maybe the fountain of youth. So Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn asked this question: why there is no telomerase in all of the other cells, the 62 trillion cells that we have? Guess what? We have the telomerase, but unfortunately, the telomerase is sleeping in all these cells. Now, why the telomerase is sleeping, the gene of the telomerase? Well, this is a question that we cannot answer for the moment. Why we don't have full telomerase activity and why other species have telomerase activity all the time, this is a difference that we don't know. The moment that we will know, we will probably become immortal. So, but we find a way to activate this gene of the telomerase. There is some herbs, and especially from China, which can have the ability to activate telomerase gene. We call them telomerase activator. And one of the example is the TS65, which is infinity. Now, the third point is the stem cells pool shrinking. How can we help? How can we help to replace those cells? Now, from that, and you know that stem cells is the source of all our cells. You know that stem cells are really, really vital for us. Now, we have now a new revolution in the stem cells called regenerative medicine, which will help to get all these stem cells wherever we can bring them. It's called regenerative medicine, so we can re-inject from your own fat or from your own bone marrow. We can re-inject stem cells in the heart, in the eyes. We are starting now to treat Parkinson and Alzheimer's disease by stem cell injection. We can work on teeth, we can work on joint, we can work on diabetic type 2, and of course, with Dr. Newman, we know that by injecting your own stem cells in the face, you can change your own face. And this is a new revolution that we are going to see amplifying every day. So based on what I told you, what are the tools to put all that in action? The tools are called NBIC, which is a combination of nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology, and cognitive science. But the things which is very important, that these four science are interrelated, and they are working in synergy to give the best to this new anti-aging revolution. You know, for instance, nanomedicine is the size of the molecule, or the size of almost the size of the atom. And what we can do with nanomedicine, we can do a lot, you see. We can bring nanorobot inside the cells and do the work specifically in the cells that we want. We can do diagnostic in 2 minutes, while before it was 2 weeks. There is plenty of therapy or diagnostic that we can do with nanomedicine today. So this is, again, another anti-aging revolution. We can treat disease at the atomic level, not even at the molecular level, at the atomic level, which means that, for instance, we can now detect a cancer, only breast cancer, or by only detecting some molecule which you breathe or you expire. You see, it's extremely precise technology. Information technology is becoming enormous. Means that today we have the capacity to have the same power that the brain. Now, the only difference that we don't have still now the plasticity of the brain, but we have the same power today with computer than the brain. The cognitive science are very important to learn about our brain behavior. But all of that may be good, but there is something very simple which can change your life, change your lifestyle, change your longevity. It's healthy lifestyle. Now, there is tons of clinical trial which are proving many things about if you change your lifestyle. First, nutrition. We know that nutrition will influence your longevity, but not only that. We know that exercise will positively or negatively affect gene expression and therefore your longevity. We know that emotion will affect your gene expression and longevity. We know also that your attitude and your relationship will affect gene expression and longevity. And this is a fact. All the scientists accept that, you see. So telomeres also, a healthy lifestyle can increase telomere length and delay telomere shortening. So yes, good lifestyle improve longevity, this is no doubt. So it's not easy. Let's say it's so simple to do, quite difficult because it's a everyday effort for many of us to have to do exercise, to manage your stress, to have good nutrition. But this is essential for a good hyper longevity. In my book or in my website, G Life Science, I build what I call the J Life plan, which will put all that in detail, how to start and how to do from day one every day. So everything that I told you in more detail are in this book, The Promise of Immortality. This book is available in English at the I think at the back office in marketing material for the English version. I'm sorry, but for the French is on jlife-science.com. And starting on the 26th of April, we should have all these translation available on the back office. Maybe not in America, but we will find a way for the Spanish people to get it. I just signed 1,200 books in Rio de Janeiro 2 days ago. So I'm very honored to share that with you. And this book is reflecting the culture of jeunesse. It gives you much, much more detail about the ingredient of many of our products, like resveratrol, like TS65, like many other, like the use of stem cells and the use of growth factor. My name is William Amzallag and I am Generation Young. Thank you for sharing this time with me. The webcast is yours. Thank you very much.